Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of In Case You Missed It, 32 for those who are counting, and you might have clicked on this episode hoping that Tommy would be back. Alas, he is not yet.
I'm sad.
You can blame his estate agents. But Miles is back.
Oh my god, it's me.
I'm not by myself this week.
Oh wow, that you are glad to have me here.
Oh, the joys.
The backup Tommy.
It's a little bit of we've got more to talk about this week. Compared to last week when I was just being by myself and I'd said how little there was to talk about. There's loads of headlines and stuff to talk about this week. But we'll start as always with the trailers. The first one being a second trailer for Doctor Sleep. And I know you saw this one, was it yesterday?
Yeah, well, are you really going to start with the only good one?
I do them in order of when they got released.
Okay, yeah. So it's going to be downhill from here. Yeah, I did.
But was this the trailer that you saw in the cinema?
Yeah, so I saw. We both saw It Chapter 2 on release day, and that was in IMAX, and I went to see it again in standard definition. And they had this before it, but they also had an intro from Stephen King, and I assume the director. I actually haven't gone back and checked since then. But they were basically. It wasn't very much. It was basically saying, "Here's the trailer. It follows on from The Shining."
Yeah. You get those every now and then.
Yeah, it wasn't anything major, but it was nice to see. And as I think you pointed out, Stephen King didn't really have a lot of love for the original Shining, or the Kubrick Shining.
Yeah, he didn't like what Kubrick did with it, all the different stuff that Kubrick added and ways that Kubrick took it. So it's interesting that King's endorsing this one.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes me wonder if, especially as we see shots which obviously aren't actually from The Shining, but
same hotel.
Looks like they've redone and remade. Yeah, same hotel. They've remade it exactly, and obviously done it intentionally to make you think it's exactly the same. Because they want you to go, oh, it's a sequel to The Shining, which it is.
That's where the money is.
They're obviously, I imagine they're just going to take the moments that are in the novel that Stephen King approves of instead of the Kubrick stuff. Which is perhaps why he's on board.
I don't know. I'm not sure based on the trailer how much of this is going to be in the Overlook Hotel. Because it looks like it could just be a third act kind of thing, but equally it could be really early on. It was kind of hard to gauge how much of the story centers around The Shining nostalgia.
Well, I can't remember who it was. I think it was someone on Collide Live talking about this trailer specifically, when saying about how the character of Dan Torrance, who Ewan McGregor is playing, is obviously the kid, and the kid doesn't actually see a lot in The Shining, his Johnny moment. He doesn't see that.
It's been a while since I've seen the original. I might have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to rewatch The Shining. I think I watched it last year sometime. But I'll rewatch it before this just to give it another refresher.
Are they planning on doing any?
One I'd like to see on the big screen.
Go on, sorry, yeah.
There's one other that I'd like to see on the big screen if I could.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they re-releasing it ahead of this film?
Not that I'm aware of. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But
it'd be a good double bill.
I'm not aware of it. Yeah, that'd be a really good double bill.
But yeah, I like the look of this film anyway. I've not got a massive love for The Shining, but I don't dislike it either. It just hasn't made that much of an impact on me. However, obviously a lot of the big iconic scenes I think is stuck with a lot of people, even those who haven't even seen the film. So I think they're going to bank off those visuals a lot. Like say you saw the twins in the trailer.
Of course.
The original hotel, lots of callbacks to the original. I think they got a couple of reshot bits. There was a shot from behind in the trailer of young Danny, and that looked like it wasn't actually him. It looked like they've redone that.
Yeah, I think that's the way I think they've just taken the look of what Kubrick did and put that and redone that to fit the story of the book more, so that Kubrick can. So that Stephen King will endorse it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the book and its differences between the film.
No, do I.
But yeah, I'm happy. I think Stephen King's the only person, ironically, who doesn't really like The Shining, or at least that version of it. But we'll have to see. Yeah.
Well, he did. Yeah.
Go on.
He did that TV version of it.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've met anyone who's ever watched it though. I don't think I've seen anything about it.
Neither do I.
Other than it exists.
I've heard it's awful.
Yeah, I haven't heard great things. I mean, it didn't overtake the Kubrick one, put it that way.
No, of course.
But you said you wanted more horror in this one.
Trailer, yeah, you get quite a bit more story in this trailer than we do in the first one, which was playing very much on the nostalgia of the original. So this one, you kind of see a little bit more, and like the vibes I sort of got from it, was sort of like a I don't know, Hunger Games sort of. It's a sort of young adult sort of vibe to it.
Really, I thought it was kind of.
just-
I mean, I don't think it looks as good, but kind of they were going for a similar tone to like the It films in terms of like balancing horror with maybe a little bit more lighthearted.
I don't know if I got that from them.
I don't think
I can see why you say that.
I don't think they're going like that young. Like I didn't. It didn't look like they were holding back.
No, I don't think necessarily they are, but that's just the sort of tone that the trailer gave me. I don't think that's what the film will be, but that's just what I got from the trailer. And not knowing anything about the book, it kind of makes me a little bit more like, oh, is it more of a like adventure-y sort of film, or is it more of a horror film like The Shining is, and like everything Stephen King does?
Yeah, I get that. I think they were leaning into that, but like I said, I got the impression that they were kind of going for the same balance of adventure and horror as It, like the new It. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as good, but I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think there's going to be anywhere near as much.
No.
Buzz around.
You think if Stephen King was endorsing it, that's probably off the back of how they handled It. And he's got a little. He seems to like that, especially since he cameoed in the second one. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Might need to bleep that out. I don't know what you do with spoilers on this show.
I'm going to leave it in. I can't bother to.
That's fair.
Continue.
I can't remember where I was going anyway. Should we move on?
Do you want to rate this trailer? Yes, no?
Oh, definitely a yes. And I think it's going to be the only yes, as you'll find out.
Yeah, it's a yes for me as well. I'm quite excited for it. It's only a month and a bit away, so it's pretty soon.
Is that it? Wow.
The
marketing can't be that high on it. The budget.
I don't think so, but it's always double what the budget is anyway.
Yeah, to be fair, it will do well, definitely.
I think it will do well. I think there isn't that much competition around Halloween this year. For the sort of like obviously last year you had actual Halloween.
True.
You had that film, but there isn't really much vying for that spot. That I think Halloween Kills next year, or is it the year after?
I didn't even know we were getting another one.
Yeah, with two more they're filming back to back. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Oh wow, I still haven't got around to seeing the new one.
I really like it. It nearly made my top 10 21st century horrors. It's really good. I really like it.
Not bad at all. Yeah, I might have to give that a watch.
Despite what? The next one we got was for a film called Devil's Revenge. Now, sometimes when we do these trailers, I just like it to be... I've got into a habit of there being 4 trailers, so I always put 4 on there. And sometimes that means scrambling around to try and find one. No matter how bad
that makes a lot of sense now.
Looks.
To be fair,
and this
it's about as bad as the other two.
I don't know about that. There's a lack of, I'm gonna say, talent involved in this.
There's a lack of talent at every stage. This literally, like, you take a horror film and maybe even an adventure film, and you take every slogan you can think of, and you just slap it into one film, and that's what it looks like. It's like, we must gather the token of Ra, they're buried underground, and we've got to, and there'll be a blood sacrifice, and
absolutely ridiculous.
It looks so stupid.
I'm just on the IMDb for it. I'm gonna see what there's no release date for this film yet. I'm just gonna see what the director has done.
It sounded like they got a primary school to write a film as a group project, and then this was it.
He's done a film called. He did a short film with William Shatner called Shatner Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Shatner Claus.
Yeah.
Shatner Claus. Really?
Yep. He does a lot.
He said like from the writer of Star Trek something or other, right? It said definitely from. It said like I
yeah,
think
it said from Next Generation.
that's probably a lot of writers. He probably did one
That's not what
episode and got fired. Please, I
That's
hope.
not the. He didn't. The guy who's directing it didn't do anything with Star Trek. This director has done.
I thought it might have been like written by William Shatner or something because I don't know if he can write or not, and I thought it was going to be like from the
I don't know.
writer
There's
of.
no writing credit.
Of course there isn't. After that trailer came out, I'd take
There's-
my credit off there straight away.
Yeah, it's
How did you even find this?
It's just like I typically go on Joe Blow because they're normally pretty good with trailers.
Yeah, they do keep up to date.
If they're not on there, then I kind of hear about them or see them on Facebook or on YouTube through either the studios posting them themselves or maybe like an IGN has got an exclusive trailer or something like that.
I'm assuming this isn't getting a wide release, by the way.
It's got no release date, so at the moment it's not.
Like at most, this is getting Amazon Prime because I don't know if you've seen they'll let anything on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing that I was thinking of. You to go on, even on Netflix, you get them every now and then, or Now TV, or whatever streaming service. You always get these kind of bad ones that obviously people will eventually watch because some people just enjoy watching rubbish. The last thing that was updated for this film was the 20th of December last year.
Okay.
And it was in post production then.
Wow.
It's quite a
been a long road. Has it got any fun? Has it got any fun like trivia on the IMDb page? This seems like it would have like the director likes blue.
Oh, it's only it said it's only filmed in Louisville in Kentucky.
All right.
That's the only fun fact about this film, and that kind of says it all. Really, this is a big no. Don't watch the trailer. Don't.
It's not worth it. Why did you even add this, James?
I don't think it's going to be. Because I don't know. Sometimes it's fun. It's like sometimes with the ones you don't know anything about, you might find a hidden gem.
Maybe, but also no.
No, it's a big no. The next one we got was for Like a Boss, starring Salma Hayek, Rose Byrne, Tiffany Haddish. This one comes out February next year, and I got a lot of. It looks like a girl sort of.
You know when you like see a trailer with Melissa McCarthy or Amy Schumer and you just sigh to yourself loudly in the cinema. That's this film, but with neither of them in it.
It's not funny. The trailer itself is bad. It's told you everything that happens in the film.
It seems like the kind of film that like girls would have when they're getting ready and they're already a bit drunk. And they've just got it on in the background before they go out.
Well, we're saying that it's got a February release date next year. That will mean that in the UK for it anyway. I'll see what it is in the US. January. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense actually.
It's coming out in January.
In January.
I like that they made a couple of boob jokes in the thing to get the guys in, so that people can go, guys, it's going to be fun for you too. We're going to talk about boobs.
The other thing that comes out in January, actually, and I think it is around this release date, is Bad Boys.
Well, that's good. Yeah, but Bad Boys. So
they always
do
it. They always put that alternate scheduling, but something of the opposite person would like. So typically, you'll get like when Toy Story 4 came out, Chucky came out at the same time.
Okay.
It's the opposite sort of thing. You get a children's film and then you get an adult film.
That marketing was great for that with Chucky killing all of the Toy Story characters.
Yeah, and they use that to its advantage.
Oh yeah.
And with this, you're getting Bad Boys, and then you're gonna get, and then the marketing or the studio will go, but women won't want to watch that. That's not true. I'm sure there's loads of women that want to watch Bad Boys.
Yeah.
And they go, we'll put a Like a Boss then, and it's like. No.
Like, who's making these? These any film is so hard to make realistically, and it's so much effort goes into any film, no matter what it is. And like someone's wasting like a year and a bit of their life on this. Just why?
Yeah. And it's a shame because I like some of the people involved. I really like Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne appears in some weird stuff though.
She does.
I feel like she has a bad agent.
Maybe, but I feel like that's also just the sort of thing that she wants to. I think she's got children, so she probably wants to do these sort of films
She
where
probably
she
wants
doesn't really
money.
have to. She doesn't want to have to do any of these big films where she has to go here, there, and everywhere around the world.
That's fair.
She wants to do something where she can stay in one location, probably in LA or Atlanta, where they film a lot.
Oh yeah. Like fair play to her. Like this film will be forgotten. I still like her as an actress, and she's making money. Like I don't blame her at all.
I'm just looking at the director's credits.
Okay.
And he's got a mixed bag, but it's more that he's done like one episode of like TV shows. Like he did an episode of Freaks and Geeks. He did an episode
That's going
of
back
The
though.
Office.
Nothing
He
particularly
did an
relevant.
episode he did an episode of New Girl. He did an episode of American Horror Story. He did Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day.
I remember that, but I can't remember anything about it other than its name.
That's his biggest thing so far.
Well, we'll see. Maybe this is going to be our new favourite film.
No. It might be, and you never know.
But also, no.
The last trailer we got was for one that I actually got to see for the first time in the cinema, which is always refreshing. When doing this job, you kind of end up watching them all at home on your phone or iPad. But when it came on, I was like, "Oh, what's this? I don't know what this is." And then as it goes on, the worse and worse.
Oh yes, it does.
And it's for Countdown. It will be trying to get that horror movie audience. And
is this a February release? Just out of interest.
No, it's October.
Really?
This is what's going to be trying to get the Halloween people in. It's that generic-y sort of horror film where you always get these ones. And I don't know if you watched it, but the vibe I got from this trailer is the same vibe I got, which is on the bottom of my list of films that I've seen this year.
Okay.
So I ranked them all, which was Escape Room.
Well, no, I didn't see Escape Room, but I was intrigued by Escape Room. This I'm not intrigued by.
I know a lot of people like it, and I got similar sort of vibes to it. And the other one that I got similar sort of vibes to was Happy Death Day, which I do like actually.
Happy Death Day, I think the aim is the same. Like I think they know that they're going for something that people won't initially take seriously, but Happy Death Day actually turned out to be all right. I liked it. This, nothing about it I can take seriously. But like, even in the trailers, I think Happy Death Day had a little bit of tongue in cheek. This one, it asks you to take it extremely seriously, and you just can't. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Like this seems like the kind of thing that was just pitched in a board meeting when they were just like blue sky thinking, and someone went like, "What if an app could calculate when you die?" And then someone goes, "Oh my god, that's amazing! Let's do it." But it's awful.
But you see these sort of things again. This is another one that you'd see on like a Netflix and Amazon Prime
and you wouldn't watch it
or whatever. But you might just to see how bad it is.
To be fair, I'm probably going to see it. I hate myself, but I'm probably going to see it because I like horror films.
But that's it.
And it's probably going to be like the only thing out at the time because it's like as you said, it's going to be slim pickings.
And I think Doctor Sleep, which comes out just after this, so I think it does have a little bit of a clear window.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the only thing out that week. It's probably going to have a week.
Dark. I think the film that it does come out around is Terminator: Dark Fate, which again is that counter program.
I didn't even know that was coming out that soon.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's right around the corner.
It's gonna have about a week of like being the only film, and that's when people will watch it, and then it will just get taken over by everything else.
Yeah, and that's all. It's not expecting to do much, but as I said, like loads of times on this podcast, horror films are so cheap and easy to make that I have no doubt to be honest, it will make its money back.
Yeah.
What will work in this favor is like we were saying with Happy Death Day. If it does that tongue-in-cheek sort of thing and does that well, I'm gonna look up what the director has done while I'm talking. And oh no, it's miscellaneous crew. I'm alright.
Well, that's good. He was miscellaneous crew on something.
What? And that's his biggest credit.
His biggest credit is miscellaneous crew.
He's known for.
I've got more credits than that.
It's not even a big film. is I Am Number 4, which I actually really like.
I do remember. I remember one scene of that film, and that's about it. But I don't remember disliking it.
He was a set production assistant on I Am Number 4.
Okay.
And he was an assistant to people on Instant Family and Daddy's Home 2. Probably
well, fair play to him. He's moving up. You can see some career progression.
Yeah. So this is his first, big... He's done some short films. They're all short films.
Maybe it was a case where he just took this because it was his shot, and then he'd made it, and he's going to move on to better things. Fingers crossed for him.
He did a short film called Jennifer Lawrence is Coming.
That sounds good.
Two eager roommates wait for an old friend to drop by their home for dinner. It just so happens that the friend is Oscar-winning actress Jennifer Lawrence.
I liked the title more than I liked the explanation.
And when it comes to... Wait, no, I can't read the rest.
No, it doesn't sound interesting.
What is... I just don't understand. No, I can't remember what the tagline at the end of this trailer for Countdown was, but it really annoyed me.
It was...
it was like death, question mark? There's an app for that.
That's it. Death, question mark, there's an app for that. I didn't see the title card. I think I looked away when it was the title card, so I thought death, question mark, there's an app for that was the name of the film.
That's the name.
I was like, that is too long.
No, this film looks atrocious. But like I said, I might watch it just to see how bad it is.
I'm almost certainly going to watch it, and I hate myself.
It might be good. I think there's enough wiggle room in this trailer for it to be good.
It could be. I think it's going to be one of those ones where you just go like, that was better than I thought, but only because you walked in with zero expectations of it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it for the headline. Not for the headlines, for the trailers. We'll jump into the headlines now. Like I said, there's quite a bit more news to talk about this week. So the first one we got is that we are getting a remake of Face Off.
What?
The famous film starring John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. We don't know. Not Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. They're not coming back.
Okay, who would you cast?
That is the question. I mean, there's been so many good suggestions out there. I think it was Boss Logic said Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, which would be fun. The best one that I saw, which would never ever happen, would be Vin Diesel and The Rock. They hate you. They don't. I don't think they like each other.
People are going like, they don't. People are going quite light-hearted on this thing because like the original Face Off had like funny moments, but it was fairly dark.
It was a serious film, but it's obviously the performances of Travolta and Cage that bring out the silly sort of side of it. And so that's why people are kind of leaning towards a comedy. We do have a writer for it, and the writer, he's got a mixed bag of stuff. He did 22 Jump Street.
All right.
Which is great. He hasn't done too much, actually. He did some film called Freaks of Nature, which I've never heard of.
Okay.
He did Shimmer Lake, which is a Netflix film. Again,
nope, no idea.
I know I've heard of that one, but I haven't watched it. He did The Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked more than most people did.
It was alright. I didn't hate it.
No. He also wrote Sonic the Hedgehog, and he is doing Detective Pikachu 2 and a Supergirl script, apparently.
So it could be Ryan Reynolds then?
Potentially.
How about...
everyone's kind of thinking... Go on.
I was going to say, how about Ryan Gosling and Joaquin Phoenix? And make it semi-serious.
I mean, I'd watch it, but I don't think that's realistic. I think they are going to end up looking at the stuff the director has done, the Jump Street, Sonic the Hedgehog, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to make it fairly
light-hearted, action-y film. So
I feel like if they're going that way, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds would be great. I would pay to see that, to be honest. I think it's one of those ones where like if for people who really like the original, they've still got the original, so why not do something else with it? And I wouldn't be upset if they did that.
And I think that's the way you've got to have one. You got to have a straight person and a comedic person, obviously. So I think you get even. I know they're all friends, but the script. But what about Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal? I think that'd work.
I, I don't know. I feel like
I
they're.
think that'd
I
work.
feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's only marginally less silly than Ryan Reynolds.
So you think?
I feel like they'd both be
Okay.
silly in that scenario, or maybe you could have face off with twins, and they have to hire twins because the evil villains are also
Army
twins.
Hammer, he's back. He's just being twins
It's
again.
Army Hammer is all four of them. It's twins and twins.
I don't know. It's an interesting question.
It's gonna be called Winkle Swap. Go on.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of people that could do it. I really don't know. There's so many possibilities as to.
I'm invested with Reynolds and Jackman now. But then you definitely wouldn't have Wolverine versus Deadpool.
What I don't want to see is The Rock and Kevin Hart again.
No, because then
I feel like
basically be Jumanji.
I feel like there's potential for it to go to that. We've obviously seen them do a not similar sort of thing, but they swapped
sizes
in Central Intelligence.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say
was
sizes
the
in
funny
Jumanji.
man and what?
I thought you were going to say they swapped sizes in Jumanji, because that would be what the big joke would be if they did Face Off. Would be like, I was small and now I'm big, and I was big and now I'm small.
I feel like they've done that already in their career, and I do worry that it's going to go towards that. And obviously, you put The Rock in film, that kind of equals money, but
Yeah, I guess. I didn't know he was the highest paid actor until very recently.
yeah,
How does that work?
yeah, that's just because he does a lot.
Yeah, he does. To be fair. Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see who is cast in this Face Off.
Yeah, I think that will be what. I think you can judge a lot about how they're going to play it once we know what the casting is.
Yeah. The next bit of news. Miles, do you like the Dark Universe?
It's my favorite universe of all time. Better than this one.
The Mummy film that you actually liked.
I enjoyed it. Did we see it in like 4DX? I can't remember.
No, we just saw it normal.
It was I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was like a great film, but I didn't hate it.
It got destroyed critics wise and at the box office and didn't do well. So that kind of, after creating a title sequence for just one film, that caused them to scrap the whole of the universe. And I think someone, I can't remember what his name is. The guy who, do you remember the guy who also directed Saw with James Gunn?
Who directed Thor with James Gunn?
Well, he worked on Saw with James Gunn. The guy who plays the guy who doesn't actually get his leg cut off in the bathroom is the other one.
What? So start again. What are you talking about? Legs getting cut off?
Upgrade.
No, I do remember that film, but no, I don't. I do not remember. I don't know what you're on about.
Lee Winnell. Lee Winnell was doing The Invisible Man.
Okay.
Which I think I've heard. I think is shooting at the moment. Or I don't know if it might be.
How did this get revived? I thought Dark Universe was just dead.
Because it is. I think Lee Winnell's just gone in with them and said, "I want to do this Invisible Man thing." I don't think he's just doing a separate part of a.
Okay.
Yeah. But the headline that came out this week was that Paul Feig is going to do a monster movie, a Universal monster movie called Dark Army. Paul Feig, who did Bridesmaids, who did Ghostbusters, who did A Simple Favor, and also doing the Last Christmas one. But this Dark Army, this film is called Dark Army, and it's gonna not necessarily be about the Universal monsters. It's actually gonna be about a team of new monsters that are gonna go up against the Dracula, the Frankenstein, that sort of thing.
All right. So it's gonna be like Van Helsing, where they just get a team up.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah, I sort of see it as a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen sort of.
That's fair. I like both of those films. I don't know if they'd probably be guilty pleasures these days, but I liked them when I was younger.
Yeah. There we go. I couldn't see that it says Lee Winnell is doing The Invisible Man starring Elizabeth Moss.
All right.
which I didn't know she was going to be in there.
This is all news to me.
Well, now you know. The Dark Universe is back underway. I'm interested to see what sort of new monsters that could be. That are going to be part of this.
I'll be interested to see if they do acknowledge these as the Dark Universe, because you said like the director just wanted to make it anyway. But I wonder if he'll be forced to put a Dark Universe thing at the beginning, just on the off chance that it gets picked up again.
I don't think so. I don't reckon that. No, I don't, because they had that whole thing planned out. I remember at Comic-Con a couple years ago, and I know Tommy mentions it every now and then about how they had a picture all together with some of the cast that were going to be in it.
Oh yeah, I think I saw
Dark
that.
Universe films. And they had Angelina Jolie was going to be Bride of Frankenstein, and Javier
good.
Bardem was going to be Frankenstein.
I think they had a good idea lined up. I don't know why they just bombed after the Mummy. Like, fair enough, that didn't do that well. They could have picked it up again.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Makes you think, like, what if Iron Man 1 hadn't done very well?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same sort of thing. Although I don't know. I feel like that's another discussion for another day.
Maybe so.
The next bit of news was that J.J. Abrams' company Bad Robot is now owned by Warner Brothers.
Oh wow!
Has a deal with them for I don't know if they're owned by them actually.
What?
But they have some sort of deal.
Bad Robot? Like what's in it for them?
Oh no, here you go. They've got a 5-year deal with Bad Robot for film and TV.
Okay.
So the question that then comes up is obviously J.J. Abrams, his company. There's two things that comes to mind when I think of that. I think potentially more Cloverfield films.
Yeah.
I know Paradox didn't do particularly well, but I think there's still enough room there for them to continue with that franchise.
Well, Cloverfield is so varied. Why would you want to buy the Cloverfield franchise? Because you could basically do exactly what Cloverfield
I don't necessarily
without having
think
the franchise.
I don't necessarily think it's that. I think it's more that they'll be working together on projects for the next 5 years rather than taking over and buying the specific Bad Robot properties.
That's what I mean. Like when you buy a company, a film company, you'd expect them to be buying it for the properties. Like, and that's why I'm just wondering why they've done this. Like, what are they getting out of it?
I know that Bad Robot were actually had a few deals on the table, and I think Apple was one of them. So I imagine money was the big factor as to why they ended up going with Warner Brothers. The other thing that this potentially has, this is the main thing that's got people talking as to, does this mean that J.J. Abrams could potentially come on board now for a DC film, working with Warner Brothers?
Maybe.
He did have a Superman script a while ago. I don't remember much of it.
Oh no! With that laser vision, you wouldn't want him doing it. You'd get too much lens flare.
I really like the lens flares.
How about Living Laser? Have you ever seen?
I really like
that's Marvel.
Abrams
Sorry. There's a character in Marvel called Living Laser that's literally just a laser human. Lens flare on that would be great.
A deal with Marvel. Maybe that's why the deal's only 5 years.
Maybe so.
And then he'll go over to Marvel. They'll be ready for the Living Laser then.
Oh, that'd be good. I'm waiting.
But can you think of like any other property, or DC character perhaps that you'd want J.J. Abrams to do? Obviously, he's done Star Wars. I imagine he's going to want to do something smaller after doing Rise of Skywalker. Probably wants a bit of a break, but say in a hypothetical world like we are in development, and jab him into a DC film that you want him to do.
Trying to think, what's he good at? What are his trademarks other than lens flare?
I think it's just I think sci-fi is a big thing of his. You obviously see that with the Star Trek, Cloverfield, Star Wars. I think that's kind of his sort of thing. Maybe Green Lantern.
I was thinking Green Lantern, yeah, but because I think that's the most obvious.
I think that's a good shout.
Or he could do the Justice League when they get their space station that they hover around in.
Yeah.
They could start going a little bit more outer Earth, pushing it that way. He's obviously got a lot of experience in that with the Star Trek and Star
Yeah.
Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a good
So yeah, we don't really
VFX
know.
team.
Yeah, we don't know too. And oh yeah, visual effects wise, he'll bring all. I imagine because all the crews will come around together. I imagine. Actually, it depends when the release dates and stuff will be. This is all hypothetical anyway. The continuing on the DC train. Last night, James Gunn took to social media and posted the official cast of the Suicide Squad. Have you seen this?
Oh yes, I did see this. Yeah, it's a massive list.
Oh.
It annoys me that I don't know who some of them are playing. I really want to know who Pete Davidson's playing.
We don't know pretty much who any of them are playing. I think there's some rumors, and apart from obviously the returning ones,
King Shark was announced.
so the ones we've got apparently Steve Agee or Agee, I don't know how you pronounce his name, is playing King Shark.
Never heard of him.
Daniela Melchior, who I did look up yesterday, is a Portuguese actress. I think has only been in Portuguese stuff. She is playing Ratcatcher.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Davis Desmachian is playing Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And John Cena is playing Peacemaker.
I don't know anything about the character, but I do like John Cena and stuff, surprisingly.
Yeah. And then you've got Viola Davis, Jai Courtney, Joel Kinnaman, and Margot Robbie all returning.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting that they're going to be continuing on the... Well, that makes it... Well, it obviously is technically a sequel then. With
Captain Boomerang is my favourite thing about the franchise so far. So I'm glad.
Apparently they start shooting soon because Jai Courtney was on Collider Live on Thursday, and they did ask about it, and he hasn't got a beard at all. He looks jacked. He's massive, but he doesn't have a beard at all. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble because I haven't grown my beard."
Oh, that's fine. The kind of facial hair he had, they could stick on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine.
But some of the other interesting cast announcements were that we got confirmation of Taika Waititi.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I mean some of these ones are gonna have smaller roles, like him, Nathan Fillion, Michael Rooker, Sean Gunn as well. Flula is gonna be in it as well. I think that's
He's
at
doing
least
surprisingly
5 people.
well.
Flula.
How has Flula done so well?
I don't know. Well, he has gone into films. I think I saw him in something else.
He's in Pitch Perfect 2, and he did a cameo in something that I think I only saw the trailer recently. Oh, wasn't he in for that Anna Kendrick film? Wasn't he in was that the one he was in? I saw him in a trailer for something.
On his IMDb, so let's have a look.
Was he in that terrible Christmas one?
He was in Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is where I saw his name.
Oh. Where was he in that? I can't remember. Oh no, he played the assistant, didn't he? Of I can't remember. It was one of the big social medias. He was like the assistant.
Yeah. I don't think he was in The Good Place.
Oh, I don't know if I got that far. I do like Flula. It just surprises me that he's done as well as he has.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It is weird seeing him. We also got confirmation of Idris Elba.
All right.
Joining the cast. We don't know who that's going to be.
How much money is this going into the cast?
I know. But again, I think a lot of these people are going to be characters that James Gunn wants to see on screen, but maybe thought that we'd never get the chance to. He also, in the post, said, don't get attached. So I imagine that a lot of these characters are really small characters that from the DC universe that James Gunn likes and wants to see on screen, but he feels like we're never going to get that chance to. So
you think we're going to have a Deadpool 2 style suicide scene?
Not a Deadpool 2 suicide scene. I was thinking more of like a Kingsman, the end of the first one where all the heads are exploding.
Oh, wow.
That's the sort of thing I was picturing. I'm really excited for this. I think everyone is. You can't not when James Gunn's involved, and I'm really interested to see what he does with this, particularly.
Yeah, for sure. I think the franchise could do very well with him in the lead.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the headlines. We're just going to go on to one more quick topic before we look at the box office, and that's the Joker won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, which is huge.
I don't know what that means. Sounds good.
It just basically won Best Picture at the Venice Film Festival.
Very good. I'm excited.
That's obviously put all the buzz up. There's obviously some talk now about Oscar nominations, and particularly for Joaquin Phoenix. That sounds quite likely. That's obviously building the hype behind the film. Other winners of this award last year, it was Roma, which obviously went on to do very well. The Shape of Water the year before.
Doesn't surprise me.
And then they're quite a little bit more international. They recognize quite a lot of other films at this film festival. So the next one after that I recognize is The Wrestler, which was back in 2008, and before that there was Brokeback Mountain as well, also won. So all these films, it sets a good precedent, and it now is looking likely then perhaps that the Joker is going to pick up some Oscar noms next year, which is exciting.
Yeah, and I'm so excited for this film.
It then brings back the question of, is this does it technically count as like a big, because obviously there was a big thing last year when Black Panther got nominated about being it being the first superhero film to especially being nominated for Best Picture. And it looks perhaps, especially if they use all 10 places, it sounds very likely that Joker's going to get a nom as well.
Is this a superhero film though? It's more like a thriller.
That's the question. They've always said
it's a comic book film.
It's not based on the comic books,
but it is of that franchise.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Obviously it's influenced by the comic books, but not necessarily. It's not. They haven't chosen a specific. They haven't gone, oh, we're going to adapt The Killing Joke.
No, but you can see a lot of influences. Like I think it's The Dark Knight Returns with the talk show host. We'll see if that actually pans out. But yeah, I'm excited either way.
We also got confirmation that this Joker universe and whether they do a sequel or not, which Todd Phillips said he wants to do and has spoken to Joaquin Phoenix about. Obviously, whether it does or not, I don't think Joaquin Phoenix will want to, because that's why he didn't want to be in Doctor Strange. That kind of leans leads into the other point that Robert Pattinson was talking. I think it was to Variety. He did an interview with, and he had something retracted from that, and everyone's like, "Oh, he leaked that Joker's going to be in." Is going to be part of his universe, and then DC came out and said no, it's not part of the same universe.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying I don't know which way they're going to go with that, but they could of course they'd say that if it was true, and they would say that if it wasn't, so it's kind of hard to judge off that.
Yeah,
it must be something pretty big.
But I think it might be something. It obviously is something very big, but I don't think Joaquin Phoenix will want to do it. I don't think DC should do it either. They've got.
I hope they don't, because I don't think that he would fit in anything resembling an Avengers or a Justice League.
No, and I don't think it'd go necessarily that way, because of the DC continuity is a bit confusing at the moment, and I know Tommy's and I'm in the same boat. That's where I'd rather they just did solo films and did like this Joker film and continue with the Wonder Woman franchise, do that as a separate thing, do Aquaman as a separate thing. The Batman is definitely going to be its own separate thing. I don't want them to all cross over. I don't want them to be a...
Well, I think even if they end up doing it, Avengers took the time to make all of their characters fleshed out in their own right.
They need to do.
Find what they are before they commit to anything big. They just jumped in too quickly with Justice League. Because they were too eager.
They obviously jumped in quite hard into the universe already. I mean, you also look at, like, they did this whole... They're trying to do what Marvel were doing when they did this whole thing of trying to... what's the word? They did a whole, like, announcing of their release schedule. They did a video of it with Kevin Smith and... I can't remember the guy's name from DC. They did this whole thing... like... The Flash, we're getting a Flash movie that's going to come out. Has it?
Ooh.
That was supposed to come out last year, I think it was.
I forgot they were actually doing it, to be honest. That says something.
Well, that is still in the works now. I think Andy Muschietti, who did it, is doing it now. I think we spoke about it a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Andy Muschietti
Yeah.
was doing it. That's cool.
There's obviously Green Lantern films, which never look like they're gonna make the way, not yet anyway.
No.
You got so many films in the works at DC, and a lot of individual films. And I think that seems to be what's gonna work for them. Aquaman felt very much like a solo film. Like you didn't have to have watched Justice League, or
No one
anything
has any
else in the
faith in
universe.
any of their franchises.
Sorry, what was that?
I said no one has any faith in any of their franchises.
I think, like I said, it's them trying to catch up, and I think especially if Wonder Woman, obviously the first one did well. I didn't love it as much as other people did, but the first one did really well at the box office. If Wonder Woman 84, which comes out next year, does really well at the box office, that'll be 2 for 2. They don't. The first one, apart from a little bit at the beginning, doesn't really tie into the DC universe at all.
No,
I think that's where their strengths are lying at the moment, doing these solo films. If Joker goes on to do really well, not just at the box office, which I think it will, there's a lot of buzz about it. It's going to be pretty huge, and if it picks up Oscar nominations as well, I think it's going to show DC that we can do these different sort of things, take characters in ways that we haven't seen them before. I'm really excited for the Batman, the Robert Pattinson, and what we're going to do with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd rather that was its own trilogy than trying to
Yeah.
cram it into Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Justice League with Shazam or whoever
I would
else,
just
or whatever.
reboot it, to be honest. If they're going to do a Justice League, I would just start again. Because I think the thing with Joker is like they're trying something different, and it seems to be working for them. Whereas Justice League they were basically just doing the Avengers with their properties stamped on top.
Yeah, I think what I would do is do the trilogy of Wonder Woman films. Get that done. Get that. They might be good. They might be great. Gal Gadot is definitely great in that role.
Oh, for sure.
Jason Momoa, the first one crushed. Do a trilogy of those as well. We've got loads of Harley Quinn films in the works, however many those are going to be. Do a couple of those. Do The Birds of Prey, which is obviously coming out next year.
Yep.
Do a Gotham City Sirens. Do the Suicide Squad. Do a trilogy of the Batman films with Robert Pattinson. See where that puts you. See where you feel after that. If you want to have Robert Pattinson be in his own universe, separate from everything else DC, fine. But I think after then, perhaps look at rebooting the universe then. But until then, you can do all these great solo stories that you're not going to get with Marvel, where everything has to be the next step, the next episode in the story.
Yeah, it has to be tied in. They rely on telling the story as a whole.
And I think, DC needs to just do its own thing. And I know I've spoken to death about DC on this show, and I have no doubt that over the next months and years we'll continue to talk to death about them. But that's where, instead of being a Marvel, be your own thing. If it's working, which the box office for Aquaman and Wonder Woman compared to Justice League is insane, when it should have been the other way round. Or maybe not should have been the other way around, but that's just how it was, and that's how what audiences related to and wanted to see and responded to. So it's interesting to see. I don't want DC necessarily to come out with a Marvel announcement thing. I don't think that works for them. I don't want to also
They haven't got
hear
the
about
hype
them
to pull it off.
No, but they could get to a stage where they could have get that hype to pull it off.
But they need to make people care again, which just people don't.
No. But yeah, DC.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm worried about is seeing another Joker in Robert Pattinson's universe.
I doubt it after this one's done so well. I mean, for one thing, who would want to follow that?
What the exact? But people said that about Heath Ledger. Obviously, it would have been a lot less time.
Yeah, but we managed to get a Jared Leto in between. I think that scared people off, and even then, it took a while to get there. You got to remember, like when did Suicide Squad come out? Like 2016.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, and you got to remember it was 8 years before that we had Heath Ledger. It took 8 years to even get another one.
Then people were like, it was too soon.
Yeah. There you go.
But I suppose if you get the right sort of thing, depending on what happens in Joker and what's gonna happen with him and what direction they take the character in, I don't know how much room. We will have seen the Joker so much already, and that does worry me about how many more different sort of versions we get before we get, oh, he's just copying this, oh, he's just copying that.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, I thought Jared Leto was just like a whiny bitch version of Heath Ledger's Joker. There was a lot of similar character choices, I think. But yeah. I think yeah, we wouldn't want to overexplore it, especially since we're doing the origin this time around. It's kind of the last big thing to unlock.
Yeah. Let's move into last weekend's box office. I did a little bit of it last week. I just made a little small prediction, which I was wrong about. Not by much, by 9 million. Like I said, that It Chapter 2 was going to make 100 million. It didn't quite make there. It was 91 million. But what I didn't take into consideration was how long it was, and that's a big thing that puts people off.
I guess, but I wonder how many people actually look how long these films are before they go in.
I think people do. It also affects cinemas and how much they're going to put on. But don't get me wrong, a film like this is gonna be on as much as possible, the same way Avengers was on. And obviously that there's a different sort of hype behind it.
I think the Blu-ray 1 and 2 are going to do quite well as well.
Yeah, and Andy Muschietti's come out this week and said he wants to do a supercut of them both. He wants to film 2 extra scenes.
Oh, really?
And do a whole 6-hour version.
Oh, yes. I'd watch the hell out of that.
Chapter 1 and 2 together.
Oh, please.
I know you would. We pretty much did that the other day.
We did.
I'd definitely watch it. It'd be a one night only sort of thing, I'd imagine. But that's what he wants to do.
I feel like if it was good enough, I'd watch that yearly.
I don't know about yearly. I feel like that's too much to handle.
Yeah.
I did my review on the channel. Do you want to give your quick thoughts on It Chapter 2? Just quickly.
Yeah. I think it's probably pretty similar to what I imagine you said, because I haven't heard that, in that it was very good, very enjoyable, but it didn't follow. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I don't think anyone thought it was going to be. And I think throughout the entire film, they make jokes about people not liking the ending, and I think that was the big thing that let it down. But equally, I don't know quite what else I would have done with it. But I definitely recommend, if you like the first one, go out and see it. You'll have a good time. It was a little bit more lighthearted than the first one, but also quite long. So yeah, take what you will from that.
So let's go down the box office, as Hobbs and Shaw came in at 5th place with 3.8 million. The Lion King in 4th place with 4.3 million. Good Boys in 3rd place at 5.4 million. Angel Has Fallen dropping to 2nd place with 6 million. And as I said, It Chapter 2, coming in at number 1. To no one's surprise.
No.
And your new releases in the US, they have Hustlers and Goldfinch. I think Hustlers is going to take that top spot. I'm not hearing good things about Goldfinch. In the UK, we have Hustlers and Downton Abbey, which America gets next weekend. I think we get Goldfinch next week, so they've just flipped that.
I've seen posters for it up.
What, for which one?
Goldfinch.
I haven't seen posters. As well. Someone I was talking to yesterday said they saw a poster. I've only seen.
This won't mean anything to anyone else, but there is a poster, I believe, on the opposite of screen 11 in Cineworld.
Okay, I haven't gone down that far. That's why.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it for that one. I'm gonna say Hustlers makes the most money next weekend.
Probably.
Which it definitely will, because I've heard. I think there's a lot of excitement about it, which kind of surprises me. There's also like
quite
potential.
forgettable to me.
Well, people were talking about whether Jennifer Lopez is going to get an Oscar nom.
She did look like surprisingly good. I haven't seen her in a lot. She
I'm
looked like
gonna
she was pulling it
do
off.
a review for it. I don't know whether that will have come out by the time people are listening to this, or it might be afterwards, depending on when I do things. So it might be out, it might not be out. So either go and watch it or go and subscribe and wait for it to drop to hear my thoughts on it. But I won't say too much. But yeah, just to give a tease, Jennifer Lopez is good in it.
Oh wow, what a tease!
Thank you, Miles, for dropping in as always. Do you have
No
what are you
problem.
gonna plug this week?
I'm not going to plug anyone, but I am going to be Jack Black in my description social media thing, given that I still don't have any and don't plan to.
So
I'm Jack Black.
you are plugging Jack Black.
I'm plugging the concept of Jack Black.
Not him personally.
Both the person and the idea.
Fair enough. And go over to YouTube. If you haven't already, go and subscribe on YouTube. Especially, we had a top 10 come out during the week, where Lewis counted down his top 10 favorite strip scenes in film.
Of course he did.
Miles, just off the top of your head, what would your number one be?
Magic Mike XXL, which I was delighted to find out the other week, has a live show in London. Yeah. Magic Mike, the live show, which I like because it's clearly not Magic Mike. It's just male strippers, and then people can go, it's like the film. It's not quite as slutty as we would like you to believe.
We also had a latest episode of In Dispute, which came out on Wednesday as well. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. We'll have another top 10 out for you during the week, I believe. That might be me who does one. I better think of something to do.
You better.
Tommy, don't listen to this and then fire me, because I'm not prepared.
Don't fire him.
Hopefully Tommy will be back next week. His internet should be working by then, but I've said that.
Is that the problem? Wow.
His internet hasn't been installed in his moving house. It hasn't been installed.
I feel so sorry for you, Tommy. God bless.
That's why he's not here. But yeah, go and follow him anyway at Mr. TT Green. And follow me at Floodgate28. Also go and follow us on YouTube. Subscribe on there. Go and leave a comment on this video if you're watching there. Leave a comment. You can leave a question for us, and maybe we'll answer it next week. And go and listen. If you're listening to us, you might be listening to us on Spotify. You might be listening to us on Apple Podcasts. You might be listening to us on Stitcher. Those are all places you can listen to us and subscribe and rate and review, especially on Apple Podcasts. That's really important to do. And you can also find us
and buy on vinyl as well.
We're not on vinyl.
Ugh, amateurs.
You can find us on Facebook as well, where you can get your film news like Miles does.
I do.
You can follow us on Twitter as well at Insider Network _ and Instagram at Insider Network. And that's it for this week. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.